Hi, I'm Anna. These last 2 semesters we have been learning about this amazing creative trumpeter and artist, Wadada Leo Smith. We've even had multiple chances to virtually meet and talk with him to learn even more about his amazing works. A little bit about him. Wadada Leo Smith was born in Leland, Mississippi. He learned some of his musicality from his stepfather Alex Wallace and from some of the members of the Delta Blues group he was in. His musical interests took off when he was in his high school concert and marching bands. After all these studies, he started his research and designs in his creative music style on cosmation.
Hello, I'm Rebecca, and I will be talking about Wadada Leo Smith's accomplishments. He has been on the faculty of a wide number of institutions, including the University of New Haven, California Institute of the Arts, and Bard College. In 2013, he was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize in Music and was named Musician of the Year by the Jazz Journals Association. Downbeat also selected him as Composer of the Year in 2013. The Jazz Journals Association named him Trumpeter of the Year in 2016, and he was chosen as Artist of the Year by the Jazz Times Critics poll in 2016. The Doris Duke Artist Award was presented to Wadada in 2016 as well. To honor his amazing work on his creative scores, including the unchromation scores, he received the Hammer Museum's 2016 Moan Award for Career Achievement. In addition to his accomplishments, he also received widespread recognition and praise for his music, including the New York Times, The Wire, the NPR Jazz Critics Poll, and many more publications.
Hi, I'm Christine and I play the viola. In terms of Wadada's music, he defines his music as creative music over improvisation. Many of his pieces are large-scale works. Some include 10 Freedom Summers, which was inspired by the Civil Rights Movement, and another piece named America's National Parks. Many of his pieces have been performed by famous ensembles. Some include the Southwest Chamber Music Group and Kronos Quartet. This concludes Wadada Leo Smith's biography.
Hi, my name is Lily, and I'm a cellist. One important step in our process of playing this music was research. We researched the colors and gestures of the scores Sarhana and Kushala and translated that into playing. For example, if I researched the color purple, it would be associated with royalty and mystery, and I would play something that sounded mysterious or something that I thought sounded royal. It's all based on interpretation, and you're never going to play the same thing twice. This was a really good leaping point because we had such a strong base of what our playing could possibly blossom into.
Hello, my name is Brandon Martinez and I'm a violinist. And one of the biggest steps in the process of learning Wadada Leo Smith's music has been practicing the music. After doing the research on our gestures, it's important to take time to let that research sink in. Because there's so many different ways you can interpret the size, shape, and color of a gesture, there's a lot of variance each time you practice the music, and it changes every time. It's a lot of tinkering with ideas, and seeing what works, and seeing what really resonates with the idea that you built in your mind from the research.
My name is is Natalie and I play the viola. Learning to play Wadada's music was a very new experience for many of us. We were very used to playing scores that have the dynamics precisely notated, and with Wadada's music, we were given the opportunity to interpret the gestures how we saw them. This was very difficult for some of us because that freedom could be kind of scary when we weren't used to it. However, it was a great experience getting to interpret the music as we viewed it and use our research to create our own melodies and tell a story with them.
Hi guys, you remember me? I'm Donovan. I'm the bass player at VC.
Hi, it's good to see you again. I'm Sophia. I play violin and I'm also at VC.
Hi guys, I'm Olivia. I am a flute player and coincidentally, I am also at VC.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's wild. So on September 17th, we all got this amazing opportunity to meet a living composer, Wadada Leo Smith, to talk about his music, to talk about his process and stuff like that. And it's amazing. This is the first time that we've played one of Wadada Leo Smith's pieces here at VC, even though he's lived in Ventura before.
Oh.
So it's kind of, this is a really amazing opportunity for us. We met over Zoom because we can't obviously do anything live anymore because of
COVID.
It's a little scary. Which really, it helped. It was for the better because he lives in New Haven right now. So it was really good. And I think one of the things we focused on more during the discussion with him over Zoom was the topic of inspiration, because a lot of us right now, especially as musicians, we're feeling kind of shaky. There's not the like human connection of like playing in live music isn't there anymore, and it's hard to be inspired to play music anymore or to get to classes and stuff like that. And so, we asked him, how do we get inspired? How do we find inspiration? And he said something about turning in and thinking about the things that inspire you, and then channeling those things every time you need to be inspired.
Yeah, that's hard for me. I feel like it's so much easier to go out and look because it's all laid out right there and I just have to find it. But like turning inwards and finding it inside of me is a lot harder and more intimidating. But he laid it out really nicely, I think, with giving just a couple of practical tips, like, okay, how do I knock down this wall of no ideas and go find inspiration, and just simple things that I wouldn't have thought of, like going on a walk or listening to music that you really like, or even just sitting in silence, because he said that silence is what gives music and sound meaning, which was a little too profound for me to think about. Actually,
that entire thing was just mind-blowing to me. I am so used to just sitting there and waiting for inspiration to just hit me and be like, okay, a breeze is gonna blow through my window and I'm going to feel incredibly inspired in this moment, and everything is gonna come to me and I'm gonna write this amazing music. And then that doesn't happen. And so it was just such a simple way to put it, but such like a crazy concept to think about implementing, where like, oh, I don't have to just wait for it to hit me over the head. I can go out to find the inspiration myself. And I don't even have to go anywhere. Just look inwards. Like what inspires me personally, and then apply it.
Yeah.
And his on-crossmation scores, which are just like one type of composing that he does, very much so reflects his ideas of inspiration, the turning inwards to find inspiration and then turning it on. The way that you're supposed to play an on-crossmation score is you do a lot of studying of the colors before you actually even start trying to play it at all. You look into the color blue and what it symbolizes for different cultures and what it symbolizes for you. And it gives you this amazing opportunity to learn new things. And it's only then that you can really sit down and like actually start trying to figure out how to play what you're feeling.
I really liked that Wadada specifically, he doesn't like to use the term that he improvises. He likes to say that he creates instead, which to me, I found that incredibly profound. When you think about improv, it's just like, okay, well, here are these, technical music rules that I have to follow, what chord I'm in, what chord comes next, blah, 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 blah. But you're just throwing notes on a page and hoping that something sticks and that something sounds good. And even if it doesn't sound great and it wasn't your best improv solo ever, well, it was still an improv solo. It was still improv. But creating something, you have to think. There's research that goes into it. So I like to think of it like almost linear, like turn inward, step one, and then step two is to seek the outside sources, to research what is inspiring you, to research what you're interested in. If you're inspired by the color blue, then what symbolism does blue have in different cultures, all that type of stuff. And then and only then are you ready to actually start creating something.
Yeah.
For real.
That sounds like, from my logical brain, really abstract and mystical.
And I think, yeah, it's a really hard concept to kind of grasp onto that. But there's definitely science there. There's things that work there that really, which we did the process, and we've seen that it works. We've seen that it makes sense. We did the research, we did the practice, and we created art. And that's what Wadada Leo Smith says. This isn't magic. There's no smoke and mirrors. This is art. And, we're taking all of these real things and we're making it into art.
It's a process. It's not just, I'm going to throw things at a page and hopefully something good will come out of it. You're creating art. It's not just something that you can pull out of a hat on a whim. It's research, it's studying, it's just seeing what works for you, what works for the music, what works for your instrument, and combining all of that into one piece of art.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I will be introducing some of the background of Wadada Leo Smith's Kashala and Sarhana scores. So, Wadada wrote Kashala in 2018 and Sarhana in 2019, and he chose to dedicate these two scores to his two daughters, Kashala and Sarhana, for their psychological profile. And so he portrayed this in the music by composing a multitude of colors, shapes, and sizes in the form of gestures. And he wanted musicians to play these gestures by creating the unknown, which means that he intended for them to dive into their own creativity and imagination so that they could produce their own individualized sound, while also hearing and balancing with others. And so we, the Ventura College Chamber Orchestra, decided to tackle this, and we hope you enjoy.